All the cities in the world have their own problems. The place where I live in India is also one of them. We live in a small borough called Saket in the Greater Kailash constituency of the South Delhi district in Delhi, India. It is not the perfect place and has a lot of problems and features which it can improve. These problems are for and reflected by the citizens who live there, and this is obvious because it won't be a problem if the people living there were not annoyed by it. These problems need to be solved and solutions to these problems need to arise and be executed not only to solve the problems in the place as of now, but to prevent these problems from arising in the future. Right now in front of H Block Saket, there is a Saket Road, which is a major main road connecting the sub-districts of Saket to Push Bihar and Mehrauli, as well as giving connectivity to very big and important schools, SDMC School and the Greenfield School. A very big market center, 5 housing blocks in Saket, and also the Saket metro station. Unfortunately, this road is flooded with many problems ranging from space to bad road issues, which we'll be addressing to solve in this video. The road does not have enough space to efficiently sustain the amount of traffic of cars and vehicles that goes through it every day. And to add to this, it has no linings in the middle of the road to separate the direction of the cars. Also, this road has not been made properly. It has potholes all over the place and the edges of the road are not finished properly and have been left out of construction. Due to the lack of the extra layer of concrete, the edges of the road are just dust on the ground and on par with the level of the concrete road. This causes water clogging, which disrupts the road as well. Other than this, there are 2 schools and a big market on the sides of the road with an inadequate and badly designed parking lot. This often leads to cars being parked on the side of the road, which blocks the path for other vehicles, and even the school has no parking facilities for picking up the students. And this results in the school buses and vans being parked on the side as well, and the road is flooded with students getting on their bus. Also, other than there being no separation for the direction of the road, there are also no facilities like zebra crossings for pedestrians to cross the road, and this has led to there being many fatal and serious accidents with automobiles. To add on to this, there is also no traffic lights, speed monitors, or even speed breakers to keep a check on the speed of the cars or to keep them moving in an organized way without the dangers of an accident. All these problems need to be fixed in order to make the road have a traffic flow in a safe and organized manner. For this road, we can still fix some of these big and serious problems by firstly making median barriers on the middle of the road. You do not need separating lines because this type of method will be ineffective for the travelers in India who would not take due attention to the lines and just still go over them. For travelers to go in the housing blocks from both sides of the road, we need to make gaps in the median barriers in front of the housing block gates and also make zebra crosses in between them. Also, in the T-shaped cross sections, there are possibilities to have many accidents due to non-coordination between the drivers. We need to prevent this by creating a system of traffic lights in all 3 sides of the road and also need to make speed monitors and diagonal shaped speed barriers to keep a check on the car and keep the flow of cars organized. Diagonal speed breakers create an unfamiliar feeling when driving over them, and this makes drivers reduce their speed. Lastly, we also need to repair the condition of the road by repairing the potholes and also filling bituminous material like asphalt or concrete and making the road extend to the edges of the pavement. This can be done by cleaning and trimming the edges of the road and the potholes into a fine parallel running rectangular shape, into which bituminous material can be easily filled into and then rolled, smoothened and dried out. In some cases, there will be a lot of cracks in the road from which future potholes can appear. This can be prevented by filling tar in the cracks, or if too many cracks, a thin surface treatment should be used, such as a chip seal to seal the entire pavement again. In these ways, we can better the condition of the Saket Road, but we also need to look into the future and make sure such a condition of a road does not arise again. Just next to the Saket Road is a new block being constructed by the name of Sector 2, which is also in Saket. There will be a major road constructed in this sector which will connect Saket to the neighboring borough of Push Bihar. And thus, this needs to be constructed well and have account of all factors so it does not turn out like Saket Road. Firstly, it needs to account for the growing population of Delhi and South Delhi, which is predicted to be at 30 million and 9 million by 2030 respectively. For this, we need to make a much wider road than is being constructed right now, which is at 8 meters, and will only account for 1 lane on each direction of the road, just like Saket Road. We need to make it 15 meters wide so it can accommodate 2 lanes on each side and sustain much more traffic of automobiles. We also need to make sure that the edges of the road this time are also part of the road and are filled with asphalt material and smoothened out. We need also to make sure that median barriers to separate the direction of the traffic and have gaps so cars can turn and zebra crossings can be made for the pedestrians. Other than this, there is also a fairly big market center being made on the top right corner of the sector. We need to make sure that this is a big size parking lot with 60-degree angle parking spaces, since diagonal angle parking spaces are much more efficient, safer, and easier to use than perpendicular parkings. They maximize space for the number of cars parked and have no conflicting angle spaces and less space is needed for the car. They provide a balance with everything, including safety, simplicity in parking, maximizing space, and efficiency. For example, a 45-degree angle parking space is much more easier to park in, but they also give less space for parking. If we take all of these factors into account and record our past mistakes for the future, I am confident that in the future, road infrastructure will not affect the welfare of our citizens negatively.